Cool. Yeah. So where do you train?
I train at Tri-City Judo / BJJ.
Okay. Where is this?
It's in Eastern Washington, so we're in the Tri-Cities. So
Okay.
it's a little blurb on the map. It's 3 cities combined, but it's maybe 100,000 people altogether. So pretty small place.
You just trained today?
Yeah.
What's your
Yeah, I just got home here.
what is your specialty in your game? What do you like to work?
Bottom side control, man. I get smashed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like playing half guard quite a bit.
Yeah.
Pretty comfortable there.
Yeah. So you had a stroke, is that right?
Yeah, man. I had 3 strokes.
3?
So,
Oh my
3 of
goodness.
them, man.
When was
Yeah, it
this?
was like there was 3 separate incidents in my brain.
Oh.
So this was December 15th, 2016. So it's been a little over 2 years now.
Okay. So go through, if you don't mind, just going through the story. I'm very curious and.
Yeah, of course, man. So it was. So I train on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's just a regular Thursday class, 7 p.m. So I show up and I don't know. There's 15, 20 people, so good sized class. But professor just said 10 round Thursday. Here we go. So every once in a blue moon, we'll just do 10 rounds. We just go hard. No positional training, nothing. We're just sparring 10 rounds in a row. So it's probably my 3rd roll. It's one of my buddies, Rhett. He's a purple belt. He teaches quite a bit too. But we were rolling. It was a good roll. He's always known for being real intense, which is fine. But he had a double underpass on me, and he just came around with a bread cutter choke.
Yeah.
And just the way he had them stacked up, cranked on my neck. I felt the pop. I tapped right away. No big deal. We finished that round. Slapped hands. Cool. I rolled 7 more rounds. I mean, we took like 30-second breaks, just kept going. I felt totally fine. At the end of the class, I was sitting on the mat just BSing with my buddy. So heart rate's winding down. All of a sudden, I got tunnel vision. Everything just went black, and I fell backwards. Yeah, right. End of class. So once my heart rate settled down, I just kind of fell backwards. He's like, "Oh, are you okay?" And I was still coherent. I could still hear it. Just I couldn't open my eyes. Everything was just spinning 100 miles an hour. So I opened my eyes and I told them I'm going to puke. So there was maybe 10 guys left in there. They ran a bucket over to me, and I just started puking. I couldn't even hold myself up. I was laying on my side on the mat. So we thought maybe it was just 10 rounds is pretty intense. So figured maybe just I got too exhausted or wasn't hydrated enough or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
So like 10 minutes went by, and 10 minutes go by, and I can't stop vomiting. I mean, I can't open my eyes, I can't sit up, nothing. I'm just laying on my side. So they get a chair in there finally, and they kind of prop me up, and I'm just hanging to the side a little bit, and they get me a Gatorade. We're still just kind of thinking, am I just dehydrated? What's going on? So get some water in me, and my one buddy, Doug, he's like, "Dude, I think you're having a stroke." And I was coherent, so I'm like, "No, I'm fine, man." Being a stubborn meathead. I'm like, "I'm fine. What, stroke? I'm good, dude. I'm tired." So we sit there like 45 minutes. I stopped puking, so it was just me and like 2 other people. At this point, everybody else kind of fiddled out, and I have my truck there. So I'm like, "Dude, can you give me a ride home?" It just happened that week previously. I guess I skipped over this crazy snowstorm. So we got snow everywhere on the road. Everything's all blocked in. So I'm like, "Can you give me a ride home?" So his wife came. They just lived down the street to follow in his car. And he drove me home. I gave him directions all the way to my house, which he'd never been there, like a 20-minute drive. I'm kind of fading in and out of consciousness in my truck, but I still told him every turn to take. We get to my house, and he literally has to carry me into my house. He sets me on my couch, and he checks again. He's like, "You want to go to the hospital? Like, you don't look good." I told him, "No, man, I'm fine. I'm just going to sleep it off. Like, I'm fine. I'm tired. Like, just let me sleep. That's all. I just want to sleep." He's like, "All right. Call me if you need something." My girlfriend was there. My son was home. I have a 4-year-old son, so he was 2 at the time.
Oh, Jesus.
So my buddy Doug takes off, and my collarbone just starts hurting real bad. And so I'm like, I kind of try to Google it. My girlfriend's Googling it. She's like, "Well, sometimes when you break your collarbone, you get dizzy and nauseous." I'm like, "Well, maybe I broke my collarbone." That could have happened, sure. she's like, okay. She's like, let's go to the hospital, but let me get my mom over here to watch her son because we don't want to wake up a 2-year-old at 10 o'clock at night, So she goes to leave to pick up her mom because she's snowed in. She gets stuck in the driveway. So I'm by myself in the house. She comes back in the house, and I'm just slumped over, and I can't talk.
Oh.
I'm just making like very minor slurring noises. So she's freaking out. She calls the ambulance, and they get there. And as soon as they saw me there, he's having a stroke. So I could hear everything. I couldn't talk, nothing. I couldn't move. I was kind of hunched over, doubled over on my own legs. So they get me on the gurney, and they get me in the ambulance, and same thing, in and out of consciousness going to the hospital. So they get me in there, and they do some MRIs and CTAs and everything right away. I just wanted some water, which they wouldn't give me, of course, from being so dehydrated. And I'm still in my stinky Jiu Jitsu clothes, so I was thinking about all that. But I just remember just incredible amounts of pain just in my collarbone for some reason. But then the next morning, so they kind of stabilized me in the morning, the doctor came in, and she said there were 3 separate incidents in my cerebellum that they saw on the MRIs. So, and I had to further explain that. So once they looked into it, my vertebral artery, which is the back arteries, it splits. So kind of, I always explain it like if you twist the straw really tight and then flick it, you know how it splits open?
Yeah.
That's basically what the inner lining of my vertebral artery did. And they figured once I settled down at the end of the class, it clotted. Once it clotted is when I had my strokes. So I was at that point in the ICU. I was stuck leaning to the right. If I tried to center my head, I would instantly vomit. I couldn't. There's nothing I could do. I could barely lift my arms. My legs weren't working at all. So I was kind of stuck probably 4 or 5 days just looking to the right.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was bad. They were going to ship me up to Seattle, which is about 3.5 hours from me, to do inpatient therapy because there's nothing down here for that. Because they thought I wasn't going to be able to walk or take care of myself or anything.
How old are you right now?
I'm 33 now.
So you were 31?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, yeah. And then they ended up, I couldn't see my son because I was in the ICU and he was 2 years old. They didn't want him in there because of all the germs. So
yeah.
Finally, after like 5 days, they let him come in for like 20 minutes just to see me. I'll have to send you a picture. I got a cool picture of him and me at the hospital.
Okay.
Yeah, after that, like once I saw him, of course I was all emotional because they were going to ship me off and I wasn't going to be able to see him for a while. So I'm like, screw this, man. Get the physical therapist in here. Like, let's get me moving. Like, I got to do something.
Yeah.
So they had me just like trying to stand up on a walker for like 5 seconds and sit back down. They had me just turning my head left and right without getting too dizzy and puking. So we just did that for like, I don't know, I was in ICU, I think 3 more days, and they just had me doing that, just trying to get my bearings, get my equilibrium back somewhat. And I managed to eventually walk on my own, which at that point they said I could go home. I was stabilized enough.
After about how many days is this about?
I think I was 7 days in the ICU at that point, and then I was maybe 1 other day just in the general issues.
Okay.
So I got out just like 2 days or so before Christmas.
Yeah, okay.
Which was nice. I did not spend Christmas in there, but
yeah, no kidding.
yeah, so they just had me just doing basic. I couldn't do much of anything by myself, so they had me on heavy anti-platelet medicine. Of course, they didn't want it clotting again.
Yep.
And then they gave me some gabapentin, which is a nerve painkiller, and another painkiller. Basically, split right down the middle of my head. The entire right side was just pins and needles. I mean, I felt like somebody was just stabbing me, always. Just the entire right side of my head. So the only way I could sleep after the hospital was like face first, sitting up on the couch, like face first into the couch, because nothing could touch my head. If anything touched my head, it would just be unbearable. So that, and then of course physical therapy. Every day they had me going to physical therapy, trying to get my legs back under me without falling over. So I used a walker for a while. but yeah, I just kept at it with that. Then eventually I regained pretty much full mobility pretty quickly just from, I would say sheer will, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just kept moving.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, man. I just didn't take no for an answer at that point. I just kept going. Once I started being able, I couldn't drive for like 3 weeks or so because I couldn't even turn my head quickly.
Right.
But I started going to the gym and just like walking on the treadmill, just like nonstop, just to keep active. I started going back to work part-time. They just let me work in the office. I work construction, so they let me just work in the office, which was nice. But I think 3 months later, I did a triathlon, so that was pretty cool.
Jeez.
Yeah, I started training again like 2 months later, very modified. Just I couldn't stay away from the gym, man, from Jiu Jitsu. So I would go do like the warm-ups and do some like very just positional drilling. Nobody would touch my head or neck. They just recently started doing that again, touching my head. So tell everybody that was there super.
So this was back in what? This was December of 2016, right?
Right.
And
so now, just over 3 years.
Yeah, and so it's been about 3 years. That sounds right? 3 years.
A little over 2 years. 2 years and 3 months or so.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right. And so, yeah, tell me, I'm getting a lot of emails from people, okay, and the everybody's first like biggest fear is never getting on the mats again, and they just don't know what life is going to be like without jiu-jitsu. Did you go through that for a minute? That depression, like that?
Yeah, I definitely thought just by how it was going those first couple of weeks after the hospital, I thought there's no way I'd be able to do it again. I wasn't scared of doing it. I just thought my body wasn't going to work the way it should. So I just kept active, and I wasn't scared to go back on the mat. Obviously, nobody got to choke me for a long time. But yeah, it's life without jiu-jitsu, man, wouldn't have been the same. I don't think. I got so much benefit out of it.
Really?
And at that point, when it happened, I had been training. Let's see, March. So I'd been training like 8 months or so at that point. So I wasn't that deep into it, but far enough to be addicted to it. And go consistently 4 days a week.
Yeah.
Watch videos in my spare time and talk about it nonstop with my buddies I go. So I definitely wanted jiu-jitsu still to be part of my life.
Yeah. So what is your training like now? Like you're saying they're just starting, like, are they like when you, so for me, like if we're drilling, okay, let's say we're doing some like back stuff. There's two things. There's just like the positional, just going through the moves. And so if somebody comes in on me and they put like a, you still there? You still there? Yeah, you there?
Yeah.
Cool. So when somebody comes in, somebody might come in and put a rear naked choke on me, but they know not to squeeze it. So we don't even go that way. But then when we start doing like back attacks, that's where somebody will go on my back, just like EBI rules. Like, you start with the guys two hooks in. Yeah. So we drill like that. That's pretty scary at some points. But, I'm at that point now where it's like, if somebody does get deep enough, I could just tap out. But for the most part, like the last year, I'm not really letting people get too close to my neck, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
So like when you were like in your situation, was it your teammates just knew and they just were just attacking arm bars and omoplatas, or were they, or did they just completely? How did you work that out with everybody?
Yeah, everybody that was there, and everybody knew, like, there's a couple other schools around, and it was like, everybody knew instantly there was a dude that almost died.
Yeah.
Was the rumor, But yeah, nobody, they didn't even touch my neck. They wouldn't go for any type of attacks on my neck or anything for quite a while. And then I started, like, hey, get in the position, like, don't let me sleep on anybody grabbing my neck. It's not realistic that nobody's going to grab my neck.
Yeah.
Don't squeeze.
Yeah.
I'll tap early.
Yeah.
That was kind of the thing. And everybody is overcautious. So it was me kind of like, hey, no, go ahead and like get your arms around there. Get your leg, get in a triangle. Don't finish. Don't get the angle.
Got it.
But
that's
get in there.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. And at first it wasn't even close. Like nobody would even go anything. but now they can't armbar me anymore because I've gotten so good at defending the armbar. So they got to find something else. But yeah.
What do you think? What was it? Do you think that caused the stroke? Do you think it was that paper cutter that you were talking about, or
100%, 100%? That stroke, it was so hard, and we both like afterwards were like, "Oh shit," because my neck popped a little bit, and I was almost out on it.
Is it?
He almost got me out like instantly.
So he was doing the double underpass. He grabbed the lapel, obviously.
Grabbed the lapel, rolled his shoulders, and he had me stacked up where I was just stacked on my neck completely, and I think just the tension in my neck, and he just dropped his arm. And like I said, he's kind of known for going really hard.
Okay.
I love the guy to death, but you know what you're getting into when you roll with him. He's not a jerk, but he goes hard. He rolls hard.
Okay. And how is it rolling with him now?
I love it, man. He was one of the guys that's there. He's one of the guys that's always there, man. He's mentored me a lot. He's helped me a lot. So he's a really good guy.
Yeah.
Actually, the night I got promoted to blue belt, so professor told him like, "Hey, whoop his ass."
Oh, jeez.
Promotion night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we slapped hands, and it was the last roll of the class, man. And he just came at me like a bat out of hell.
Yeah.
Which makes me step it up too. I'm like, damn, he's going hard. And it was in the gi, and we're going, and then like 4 minutes in, we're both just like covered in blood. We're like, what the hell? So I look at him, and his eyebrow was just split open. He caught a headbutt from me. We're just covered in blood, and we're like, whatever, man. And we just went, and we just smashed it so hard, and then I got promoted right after that. So it's kind of cool. I got him back. He got like 9 stitches in his eyebrow.
Oh, that's cool.
It's not the same, but
yeah.
No, he's a good guy, and I don't avoid him or anything.
Yeah. So, what did the doctors tell you about going back on the mats?
Oh, they told me no way. They're like, don't. Why would you do that? Don't do it. Nobody should ever do jiu-jitsu for the most part, is what their take is on it. Why would anybody get choked?
Yeah. So I mean, let's talk about that. After your stroke, did you go online looking for other people that had a stroke?
Oh, yeah.
And how many cases did you find?
I didn't really find much at my point. So it seems like lately there's been more coming out.
A lot.
Especially since I talked to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, there wasn't much. I mean, I've heard of some neck injuries. That the one I had, it's called a VAD, a vertebral artery dissection. Typically, that's seen in a chiropractor adjustment.
Yeah.
When a chiropractor adjusts the neck, sometimes it'll split that artery. That particular one is most common from that.
Yeah.
So that's everything I found is, hey, I went to the chiropractor. A day later, it turns out I had a stroke. But a lot of times they're like mini strokes where people don't even realize they're having it.
Yeah.
So that's everything I found on it for the most part. Until then, I reached out to the BJJ Brick guys and got in touch with you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, man, and so here is what I'm going to tell you. Since my story, I have been getting a lot of emails. I haven't even been able to keep up with all these things, Chris. I mean, you and I think you and I, you know how it is with life, just like you said, businesses, family, kids. It's hard to even have this, and I appreciate you sitting down because I do believe this is so important just to have this awareness out. Because a lot of these guys, just like you in the beginning, like you didn't know you were having a stroke. You know what I mean? So if there's ways that we can prevent this, I think it's important. But that being said, it seems like there's a lot of stories like this going on, and the doctors are telling you, really nobody should be doing jiu-jitsu. People should not be getting strangled on a daily basis. Let's say that there is some truth to that. Is there a way that we can modify? Is there a way that we need to modify the sport? I mean, again, I coach kids too, so that's kind of something that's on my plate as well. Each time I'm in the class and I'm watching kids go after each other's necks, I mean, their little necks are even more delicate than ours. So, in your opinion, Chris, like this happened to you. It's for me talking to you. You seem pretty damn confident. Like you are back on the mat. Like it's game on. Like and hats off to you, man. I mean, good for you. But for me, I will say, like each time I go out, I do have like a little bit of PTSD. You know what I mean? That hard roll that makes you a little bit, blurry vision for a second or
Yeah,
whatever. You freak out. I'm not freaking out, but I certainly don't want to die, and I don't want to be paralyzed again.
right.
And I'm sure you feel that way. So it's like, is there? Do you think we need to modify this? The I mean, I have modified my game. I was the guy that you can just keep choking me until it better be a really deep choke that I'm close to passing out, or I'm going to fight out of it. I'm not ever going to do
Yeah.
that again. So that's my modification. But what's your opinion?
Yeah, man. I don't tap early is always good. I
Yeah.
think, man.
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys, they don't really. You put the ego away, but you don't.
Yeah,
You're
I know.
like, I know this guy's not choking me out.
Yeah.
And then you fight it, and then you get in positions where, when we have guys sometimes that getting choked out, that's completely unnecessary in training.
Yeah.
And then you get the pride. I'm rolling with a purple belt, and I get him in a triangle, and he's not going to tap. He's going to try to smash me with all his might to fight out of it. And that's when guys go to sleep, and I think that's probably when people get hurt. Just from what, the way I look at mine, I feel like it was a pretty freak accident. I think just, all the cards laid out right for that artery to kind of explode on me. But yeah, it seems like there's just a lot of injuries now, so it's probably it's happened early. I don't know. And then as far as stroke awareness, I've since I'm first aid certified now, so I can recognize the signs of somebody else.
Okay.
And I think that my one buddy, like I said, immediately said, "Hey, you look like you're having a stroke."
Yeah.
Which was great, and he has some paramedic, volunteer training.
Okay.
But then we're a bunch of meatheads, and we're like, "No,
Yeah, it's
I'm
not
fine."
not me.
So
Not me.
I don't know where you put that change. I guess just really swallowing that ego, and if something is wrong, yeah, man, go get it looked at. Don't sleep on that. Don't wait on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, by all means, I mean, the way I did it, having him drive me home, wanting to sleep it off, all that's the worst thing I could have done.
Yeah, that's what it's.
I should have been at the hospital immediately.
Okay.
So I guess just more awareness to what are the signs of a stroke or what are the signs of a serious injury.
Yeah.
And then acting on that, and I guess having a confidence in your training partners that, they're going to make the right call. Hey, if they say you don't look good, you need to go to the hospital, just, trusting them to go there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess I don't know if you could modify the game entirely to, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, just have really, I guess, really instilling that in people.
I know one thing that for myself personally that has changed for when I'm training with people is because of the, I know of the sensitivities of the neck. I will get in clean positions on guys, and I will feel that I can finish and squeeze, and I'll just move on to the next thing, especially in rolling. You could probably argue that that's good or bad, but for me it's just like I see a lot of these guys I'm rolling with. These are middle-aged men, 30s, 40 years old.
Yeah.
Some of these guys are 50s, and they're just there to have fun. I don't need to finish the paper cutter or the Ezekiel choke, you know what I mean? So, but I think for me, it's what I'm trying to do is bring more awareness even to my younger. I got some young training partners, and these guys they're kamikazes, and they don't think it's going to happen to them, and everybody thinks what happened to me is a fluke accident, and it is, but at the same time, it's you can get in an accident driving a car. That's why you wear a seatbelt. You know what I mean? So. I think that it's just bringing awareness to the sport. I certainly think is going to help. So I really do appreciate your story. Hearing each person's story that I've interviewed to hear what was leading up. The common denominator is that we are all so clear in our stories. We remember everything so vividly. That I think is really important. You got that your little guy?
Yeah.
Hey, bro.
You can say hi. His name's Chris, too.
What's up, man? How are you?
Good.
Good. What are you up to tonight? Do you have school tomorrow or no?
No school.
No.
We're talking about my accident when I got hurt.
Yeah.
I was in the hospital.
That was scary, huh? Do you remember it or no? Do you remember going to the hospital to see Dad or no?
No.
That's okay, man.
I remember it.
You do?
Since I was little.
You were little?
Yeah, you were 2, I think. You're 4 now, probably, or something like that.
Almost.
Oh,
Next month.
wow.
Next month.
Are you gonna do
And
jiu-jitsu?
I gotta start not pooping.
No, that's okay. This is good. What are you
He
gonna?
doesn't need to know all that.
No, it's good. It's good
He-
stuff.
He does jiu-jitsu too. What do you do?
I do soccer and judo.
Oh, judo's a great start. That's
Yeah,
great.
he does judo.
I like that. Are you on a kids team?
And look at this. It's a ninja blaze toy.
That's pretty sweet. Very
Um,
cool.
Yeah, we judo there. It's a predominantly judo school that I train at, and they actually come out with some Olympic athletes there, or Olympic junior team. Hold on, baby. I finished talking to him. Okay, go see Mama.
I don't want to see Mama. I don't want to go
Okay.
see Mama.
All right, sorry about that.
That's all right, man. That's awesome. I
I was
love
setting
it.
up. Yeah, so I don't know. He'll probably end up doing jiu-jitsu. He wants to do it. He's just a little bit too young.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um,
Well, cool, brother. I appreciate it. The last question I have for
Can
you
I-
is there anything that that's happened? Like, do you have like any problems with your hands or feeling or typing or speaking or anything like that?
the only thing I still have residual is I have some like minor vertigo. I don't know if it's ever gonna go away, but I'm gonna finish talking. If I invert or if I just go put my head upside down, I still get really dizzy quickly.
Yeah,
It's not too bad. Otherwise, my balance is fine. But it's really just like if I'm standing up and I like bend down really quick to pick something up, it definitely throws me for a loop. So
yeah,
it's nothing, that really affects me day to day. I just don't bend those ways.
yeah.
I mean, I know that it's gonna make me dizzy, but it's not
Yeah.
enough to like make me fall down or anything. So I think I regained pretty much full everything physically everything kind of went back to normal pretty quick. I want to say it's because I went right back to the gym and started, walking and running and lifting weights a little bit, and just kept moving, so nothing really
Yeah,
had a chance to fall apart on me.
yeah. Good, man. Well, again, thank you so much, Chris. Let's definitely stay in touch, and I'll keep you in the loop, and I'm sure we'll be able to roll one of these days.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, send me that picture too if you don't mind.
Yeah. I'll see what I got, and I'll send it to you.
All right, brother.
A couple other ones.
All right. Cool, brother. Thank you
Cool,
so
man.
much. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, you got it, bro.
All right, have a good night.
See you, man.
Bye-bye.